Hi everyone, this is 설찬 영어. Today is our 745th day of studying English. After completing all these 5 English study books, we can focus on the training of speaking English fluently and naturally. Today is the 11th day. We are in this intensive speaking training in the form of 100 questions and answers. Now let's get started. Today's question is 처음으로 사랑에 빠진 게 언제인가요? 자, 이렇게 질문을 뽑아봤습니다. 자, 이 질문에 대해서 자신의 상황에 맞게끔 말하고 싶은 내용을 영작을 한 다음에 그 영작한 내용을 입에서 술술 자연스럽게 유창하게 나올 때까지 집중적으로 말하기 훈련을 하는 것입니다. 자, 오늘 질문 처음으로 사랑에 빠진 게 언제인가요? When did you fall in love for the first time? 자, 이렇게 해볼 수가 있겠죠. 자, When did you fall in love for the first time? 자, 이렇게 질문을 해볼 수가 있겠죠. When did you fall in love for the first time? 자, 여기에 대해서 저는 이렇게 한번 답변을 해봤습니다. 초등학교 시절부터 우리가 새들어 함께 살던 집주인 딸이 있었어요. 그 애는 저와 동갑이지만 학년은 저보다 한 학년 아래였어요. 자, 이렇게 봤어요. My family had lived in the same house with the landlord's family since I was an elementary school boy. One of the landlord's daughters was the same age as me, but she was 1 grade below me. 자, 이렇게 봤어요. 자, my family had lived in the same house with the landlord's family since I was an elementary school boy. The elementary school boy. One of the landlord's daughters was the same age as me, but she was 1 grade below me. 이렇게 해봤습니다. My family had lived in the same house with the landlord's family since I was an elementary school boy. One of the landlord's daughters was the same age as me, but she was 1 grade below me. 자, 그리고 또 이렇게 해봤어요. 초등학교 때는 이 여자아이랑 가끔 말다툼도 하고 심할 땐 서로 소리 지르고 욕하고 그랬죠. When we were in elementary school, we sometimes argued with each other over the trivial things. In severe cases, we shouted and swore at each other. When we were in elementary school, we sometimes argued with each other over the trivial things. In severe cases, we shouted and swore at each other. When we were in elementary school, we sometimes argued with each other over the trivial things. In severe cases, we shouted and swore at each other. 그러다가 중학생이 되고 어느 순간부터 이 여자의 행동이 달라졌어요. 이렇게 봤어요. And then we became middle school students, and there came a day that I realized she was not the same player. 이렇게 봤습니다. And then we became middle school students. And there came a day that I realized she was not the same player. And then we became middle school students, and there came a day that I realized she was not the same player. 일단 나에 대한 호칭이 달라졌어요. 이 아이가 저를 오빠라고 부르기 시작했어요. 자, 이렇게 봤습니다. First, she called me differently. She began to call me 오빠. First, she called me differently. She began to call me 오빠. First, she called me differently. She began to call me 오빠. 갑자기 얘가 저에게 친절하게 대하면서 다소곳한 수줍은 소녀가 되었지요. 큐피드의 화살을 맞은 거죠. 이 여자아이가 저를 상대로 사랑에 먼저 눈을 뜬 거예요. 자, 이렇게 봤습니다. Suddenly, she became an obedient and shy girl, being nice to me. Cupid had shot his arrow right through her heart. So, she opened her eyes to love towards me earlier than I. Suddenly, she became an obedient and shy girl, being nice to me. Cupid had shot his arrow right through her heart. So she opened her eyes to love towards me earlier than I. Suddenly she became an obedient and shy girl, being nice to me. Cupid had shot his arrow right through her heart, so she opened her eyes to love towards me earlier than I. 이 여자애가 저에게 적극적으로 사랑스럽게 다가오면서 저도 사랑에 눈을 뜨게 되었죠. And in turn, her enthusiastic and lovely attitude towards me made me open my eyes to love towards her. 그때가 제가 중3, 그 여자애가 중2 되었어요. That was when I was in the 3rd year of middle school and she was in the 2nd year of middle school. And in turn, her enthusiastic enthusiastic and lovely attitude towards me made me open my eyes to love towards her. 그때가 that was when I was in the third year of middle school. And she was in the 2nd year of middle school. And in turn, her enthusiastic and lovely attitude towards me made me open my eyes to love towards her. That was when I was in the 3rd year of middle school, and she was in the 2nd year of middle school. 첫사랑이라는 단어만 들어도 가슴이 아려옵니다. 감성에 젖을 때면 그녀가 미치도록 보고 싶고 그렇습니다. At the bare mention of the word first love, my heart aches. Whenever I get emotional, I miss her like crazy. 이렇게 봤어요. At the bare mention of the word first love, my heart aches. Whenever I get emotional, I miss her. I miss her like crazy. At the bare mention of the word first love, my heart aches. Whenever I get emotional, I miss her like crazy. 자, 이렇게 질문에 대한 답을 해봤습니다. 자, 백문백답 12회 오늘 한 거하고 저번 시간 했던 11회, 10회, 9회, 8회까지 총 5회에 대한 질문과 답변, 이거를 눈을 감고 기억을 다듬어서 쭉 한번 얘기해 보도록 하겠습니다. Question 12. When did you fall in love for the first time? My family had lived in the same house with the landlord's family since I was an elementary school boy. One of the landlord's daughters was the same age as me, but she was one grade below me. When we were in elementary school, we sometimes argued with each other over the trivial things. In severe cases, we shouted and swore at each other. And then we became middle school students, and there came a day that I realized she was not the same player. First, she called me differently. She began to call me Oppa. Suddenly, she became an obedient and shy girl, being nice to me. Cupid had shot his arrow right through her heart, so she opened her eyes to love towards me earlier than I. And in turn, her enthusiastic and lovely attitude towards me made me open my eyes to love towards her. That was when I was in the third year of middle school and she was in the second year of middle school. At the bare mention of the word first love, my heart aches. Whenever I get emotional, I miss her like crazy. Question 11. Are you good at memorizing things? Frankly, I'm not good at memorizing things. I've seen a person who is really good at memorizing. I was surprised to see her memorizing exactly the same paragraph made up of 6 to 7 sentences word for word after reading it just once. Her memory power was prohibitively strong, forcing me to envy her powerful memory span. After that, I came to realize that my memory span is not good enough. But I consoled myself with the thought that I just need more time than those memory geniuses. When it comes to memorizing just one sentence, I'm second to none. It's probably because I can freely use the knowledge of English grammar, but I had difficulty in memorizing the whole paragraph at a time because my memory span is not large enough to deal with it. So I need simple repetition. Here's my method. Let's say I memorize a paragraph composed of 10 sentences. First of all, I memorize the first sentence. When I successfully memorize it 3 times in a row without a single mistake, I memorize the second sentence. When I successfully memorize it 3 times in a row without a single mistake, I memorize the first sentence and the second sentence all together. When I successfully memorize them 3 times in a row without a single mistake, I memorize the third sentence. When I successfully memorize it 3 times in a row without a single mistake, I memorize the first sentence, the second sentence, and the third sentence all together. When I successfully memorize them 3 times in a row without a single mistake, I memorize the fourth sentence. In this way, if I continue memorizing, after a certain amount of time, I can find myself memorizing the entire paragraph completely. You know, there's a saying, if you don't have a dime, use 2 nickels. Question 10. If you are given a chance to relive a day from your life, which day would it be? Well, I have some special days in my life when I felt so happy. I want to relive one of my special days when I crossed the finish line of a 42.195 km full course marathon race in 3 hours and 20 minutes or so. I was in my mid-30s then, I guess. On that day, I felt like I finally made it. I can't forget that special day when my heart overflowed with joy, confidence, and pride. In fact, when I was 20, one of my friends said he was going to take part in a 20-kilometer half-course marathon race, and he suggested to me that I should participate in the marathon together with him. So I said yes. I had never run a long distance before, and I had never prepared for the marathon race, but I agreed to his suggestion, counting on my tenaciousness. Because I ran fast from the beginning in that race, I felt much stress in my knees. So, when I ran about 10 kilometers, I was eager to give up the race, but I didn't. With clenched teeth, I ran and ran, enduring the pain in one of my knees. But later, my knee was too painful to keep running. But without giving it up, I walked with a limp at a snail's pace, saying to myself, "You must finish the course line. You must finish the course line, even if you have to crawl. Do not become a loser. Never give it up. Do not disgrace yourself." And I finally crossed the finish line within the 2.5-hour time limit. Due to the aftermath, I had to have my leg cast for more than a month. So this time, I had practiced running long enough before I participated in that 42.195 km full course marathon race. This strategic success without injury added bliss to my achievement today. Question 9. If you were granted 3 wishes, what would they be and why? I have numerous. I have numerous sorts of wishes, and I earnestly wish that my wishes came true. But wishes are just wishes. How meaningful is this, really? But I'll tell you only 3 wishes I really want to come true. My first wish would be to have exuberant imagination. Using my fertile imagination, I'd like to write awesome novels. With all the imagination I can muster, I want to write utopian novels, didactic novels, SF novels, detective novels, etc. If my novels can make people have heartfelt smile, move them to tears, and give them courage and energy to keep going, I'll be really happy. And my second wish would be that my 94-year-old mother could maintain just the status quo of her health and live at least up to 100 years old. I want to buy some time to be a good son. I've yet to do something she might like and be happy with. And last, my third wish. My third wish would be that no one who has a strong will to live would lose their health. I'd wish to have the ability to cure any disease. What the frick does sudden breast cancer to a young mother who is supposed to live a happy second life with a marriage? I'd like to give a present of a complete recovery to my niece, to my best friend, and all the other cancer patients who have a strong will to live. These are 3 wishes I have. Question 8. Would you say you are more of an extrovert or an introvert? Take some time and put some deep thought into this question. It is said that there is no one who is 100% extroverted or 100% introverted. I'll be no exception. I tend to be self-absorbed and I give full play to my abilities at a place that is quiet and away from other people. In this regard, I might be introverted. On the other hand, I tend to make quick decisions and I'm used to taking risks. In this regard, I might be extroverted. I prefer listening to people to talking to people. I prefer reading books alone to going to parties. And I prefer walking alone to walking with other people. Judging from these traits, I must be introverted. I have an episode. When I was young, my first love sent me a copy of the Bible and a hymn book by post and begged me to go to church. So, I reluctantly went to church for the first time in my life. But the noisy atmosphere of the church made me uncomfortable, and that was the last time I went to church. On the contrary, I felt comfortable and relaxed when I looked around white temples in the mountains while hiking there alone. It's not about religion. And in recent years, many people have found it hard to stay at home under the restriction of activities due to the COVID-19. But this activity restriction never negatively affected my life during the pandemic period. And I went so far as to wish things kept going on like this. Judging from all these facts, I'm so much more of an introvert. Now, this is all for today. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button if you think this video is helpful for you. Thank you so much. Have a nice day and see you again in the next video. Bye.